This is, without question, the most interesting topic we've looked at since I've been a member of the committee, and I'm just amazed by it. One of the things I was thinking about last night as I was reading your paper, the idea that occurred to me was that, and I want you to comment on it, is that Bitcoin and related currencies is not hackable because there is a nothing to hack. Is that a true statement? And I wonder if it is, if you could explain that in very simple terms, because I imagine there are a lot of people watching this.
Individual Bitcoin wallets, my wallet, can be hacked. And in fact, we see examples of that. The system as a whole cannot be hacked. And the reason I say that with confidence is because over the last 5 years, and especially recently in the last year and a half, with value transferred over that network exceeding $5 billion US dollars, there has been no shortage of people trying to hack Bitcoin. In fact, if anything, what we've seen is that Bitcoin has changed the very dynamics of cybercrime and hacking. It has escalated the attacks. It has created a target for hackers that is extremely fluid, that resides on people's computers, and they have tried to take advantage of that. I know that Bitcoin can't be hacked simply because many people have been trying nonstop for the past 5 years and can't hack it. So there's a very big difference between the system as a whole, which is a dynamic system that responds to hacking attacks, and individual wallets. And I think you see a very similar development timeline as with the internet. I remember a time when groups of hackers could take down Yahoo for a day, and Microsoft and Google, and they don't do that anymore. No. And that's not because they stopped trying. It's because a dynamic system that is constantly exposed to threatening stimuli will develop resistance and will become more and more resistant to these types of attacks. A concept often called anti-fragile. It becomes dynamically stable and resistant to attack. And Bitcoin is not static. It continuously evolves, and it continuously deals with attacks better and better over time.
Thanks very much. It's very interesting. You mentioned in the answer to the previous questioner that there are roughly 500 other cryptocurrencies. Mm-hmm. What is the size of Bitcoin in relation to those? Are they major competitors, or are they copycats?
I would say for the most part they're copycats. My personal opinion is that the allocation of cryptocurrencies in terms of market size, adoption, users, etc., follows a long tail or power law curve, where the vast majority is concentrated in a few top, maybe a handful of currencies, and then you have potentially a tail that stretches out to encompass thousands of smaller currencies. And the dynamic of being able to create currencies at whim creates an environment where there will be literally thousands, possibly tens of thousands of currencies in the future. Only a handful will have economic viability and market value, but that doesn't change the nature of it. In my opinion, people will create currencies the way they create internet memes. So in many cases, they will be internet memes, and we've seen that happen in currencies. So what's happening here is a laboratory of evolution and innovation where new ideas are tested. And some of the best results of that are often catastrophic failure on a small scale that informs future designs for Bitcoin.
It's amazing. Do you foresee a time when, in the interests of economic development or what have you, that a nation state decides to forego its own currency and adopts Bitcoin?
That's a difficult question because I think the very nature of currency is changing. And so I think the, if you like, economy or organization that is adopting the currency is the internet, and that's a transnational entity. And I think that has even more important implications for the future than national currencies. Bitcoin is already bigger than some national currencies, and in the future may end up being more important for economic activity than dozens of smaller national currencies. I do foresee that in the future, national central banks may utilize blockchain technology to underpin a national digital currency.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Green.